Right now, there's a system running inside your brain. It controls what you want, what you buy, what you believe, and you have no idea it's there. This system was built 100 years ago by a man whose name you've never heard, but his methods are used by every corporation on Earth, every politician, every social media platform, every advertisement you've ever seen. He didn't invent a product. He invented something far more dangerous. He invented a way to control what you desire. And once you see how it works, you'll understand why you've spent your entire life wanting things you never actually needed. His name was Edward Bernays, and he designed the invisible prison you live in right now. Edward Bernays was born in Vienna in 1891. His uncle was Sigmund Freud. Yes, that Freud, the man who mapped the unconscious mind. While Freud used psychology to heal patients, his nephew asked a different question. What if you could use psychology to control entire populations? In 1917, America entered World War I. The public didn't want war. The government needed them to want war. They created the Committee on Public Information, and they hired Bernays. His job was simple: make Americans hate Germans and love war. He was brilliant at it. He flooded newspapers with atrocity stories. He organized rallies. He recruited celebrities. He didn't just inform the public. He manufactured their emotions. After the war ended, Bernays realized something. The same techniques that sold war could sell anything. But propaganda had become a dirty word, so Bernays rebranded it. He called it public relations. And he opened an office on Madison Avenue to sell his services to corporations. In 1929, the American Tobacco Company had a problem. Half the population wouldn't buy their product: women. Smoking was taboo for women. It was seen as unfeminine, even scandalous. That's a 50% market just sitting there untapped. They hired Bernays. Any normal marketer would run ads saying cigarettes were safe for women. Bernays knew that wouldn't work. You can't change behavior with logic. You change behavior by changing identity. So he staged an event. He paid a group of young socialites to march in the 1929 Easter parade in New York City. On his signal, they pulled out cigarettes and lit them in public. Bernays had tipped off the press in advance. Photographers were waiting. The next day, newspapers across America ran the story. The headline, "Women Light Torches of Freedom." He had connected cigarettes to women's liberation, to rebellion, to independence. Within months, female smoking rates doubled. Bernays didn't sell a product. He manufactured a desire. He made women believe that smoking was their own choice, a symbol of their freedom. It wasn't their choice. It was his design, and it was just the beginning. In 1954, the United Fruit Company had a problem. Guatemala had elected a president named Jacobo Arbenz. He wanted to redistribute unused land to peasant farmers. Some of that land belonged to United Fruit. They weren't going to accept that. So they hired Bernays. Bernays didn't lobby Congress directly. That was too obvious. Instead, he launched a media campaign. He created front groups with names like the Middle America Information Bureau. He arranged fact-finding trips for journalists. He planted stories in major newspapers. The message: Guatemala was going communist, and communism was spreading toward America. None of it was true, but it didn't matter. Within months, American public opinion had turned against Guatemala. The CIA launched a coup. Arbenz was overthrown. A military dictatorship took his place, and United Fruit kept their land. Bernays had just proven something terrifying. You could manufacture consent for anything, even regime change, even war. All you had to do was control what people believed. So how does the method work? Let me show you the playbook. Principle 1, never appeal to logic. Always appeal to emotion. People don't buy products. They buy feelings: safety, status, belonging, sex, fear. Every effective campaign targets these emotional triggers. Principle 2, create desires. People didn't know they had. Before Bernays, companies sold products based on need. Bernays taught them to sell based on want, and want can be manufactured. Principle 3, link products to identity. You're not buying a car. You're becoming the kind of person who drives that car. You're not buying clothes. You're joining a tribe. Principle 4, use independent experts as cover. Bernays pioneered the use of doctors, scientists, and celebrities to endorse products. When a doctor says something, you trust it, even if that doctor was paid to say it. Principle 5, exploit the herd instinct. Humans follow crowds. Show that everyone is doing something and individuals will follow. Social proof is the most powerful force in consumer behavior. Principle 6, make them believe it was their own idea. The most dangerous manipulation is invisible. When people feel like they chose freely, they'll defend that choice. They'll never question it. Bernays summarized his philosophy in one sentence: the conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Read that again. He believed manipulation wasn't wrong. He believed it was necessary. Every Apple product launch uses the Bernays playbook. The secrecy, the anticipation, the emotional reveal, the identity positioning. You're not buying a phone, you're becoming an innovator. Every pharmaceutical advertisement uses the Bernays playbook. Ask your doctor about the friendly faces, the soft lighting, the expert authority, the manufactured need for drugs you didn't know existed. Every political campaign uses the Bernays playbook. They don't sell policies, they sell feelings. Hope, fear, anger, belonging. They test messages in focus groups and deploy the ones that trigger the strongest emotional response. Every social media algorithm uses the Bernays playbook. They study what makes you feel, what makes you engage, what makes you want. And they feed you more of it, not to inform you, to hold you. Every influencer is a modern torch of freedom. They're paid to make you believe their lifestyle is organic. Their choices are genuine. Their recommendations are personal. They're not. They're Bernays debutantes, updated for Instagram. The playbook is 100 years old. The technology is new. The manipulation is identical. The average American sees 10,000 advertisements per day. 10,000 attempts to engineer your desires every single day. Companies spend $750 billion annually on advertising in the United States alone. They're not spending that money for fun. They're spending it because it works. The average American household spends $18,000 per year on things they don't need. Items purchased to feel a certain way, to signal a certain identity, to fill an emotional gap that advertising created in the first place. Over a lifetime, that's $900,000 in manufactured spending. $900,000 extracted from you through techniques designed by a man who died 30 years ago. And here's the part that should disturb you. You don't feel manipulated, you feel like you're choosing. That's the genius of the system. The best manipulation is the kind you can't see. Here's what makes Bernays complicated. He genuinely believed he was helping society. Bernays thought the masses were dangerous. Left to their own instincts, they'd make terrible decisions. They'd elect demagogues. They'd destroy civilization. He saw himself as part of an invisible government that guided the public toward good outcomes. We are governed, our minds molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. That's not a critic of Bernays. That's Bernays himself, proudly explaining his life's work. He didn't think he was manipulating people. He thought he was saving them. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as it was designed to work. Every choice you make has been pre-shaped. The products you want were designed to make you want them. The political opinions you hold were tested in focus groups before they reached you. Even your rebellion is monetized. Want to reject consumerism? There's a brand for that. Want to be different? There's a uniform for that tribe. The system absorbs every form of resistance and sells it back to you. You can't opt out. Because opting out has been packaged as another product. You're not making decisions. You're responding to stimuli that were engineered before you were born. 3 options. 1. Accept it. Understand the game. Use these insights to see through manipulation. Make decisions with awareness, even if you can't escape the system entirely. 2. Resist it. Every time you want something, ask, did I want this, or was I made to want this? Pause before purchases. Question emotional reactions. Recognize the technique. 3. Position within it. If corporations extract desire and convert it into profit, own those corporations. Buy stock in the companies that manipulate. If you can't escape the system, benefit from it. The one thing you cannot do is pretend the system doesn't exist. Awareness is your only defense. You cannot be manipulated by a technique you recognize. Edward Bernays died in 1995. He was 103 years old. He lived long enough to see his methods become universal, to see every corporation, every government, every platform adopt his playbook. Every purchase you make is downstream of his techniques. Every vote you cast was shaped by his psychology. Every desire you feel was manufactured using his system. You're not a citizen. You're not a customer. You're a target. And you have been your entire life. If this video showed you a system you never knew existed, subscribe to this channel, because seeing the manipulation is the first step to freedom. Welcome to the engineered society.